My Weird School Days, Book number 11. Mr. Tony is full of baloney. Written by Dan Gutman. Pictures by Jim Palott. Chapter 4. Pizza and Pogo Juggling. Mr. Tony seemed like he was really mean, but suddenly he broke out into a big grin. "I was just kidding with that army stuff," he said. "Welcome to the ASKK program. Are you kids ready to have fun?" "Yes," said all the girls. "No," said all the boys. "Before we have fun," Andrea said, "may I ask you a question, Mr. Tony?" "Certainly," he replied. "Why were you juggling on a pogo stick?" "I'm trying to get into the Guinness Book of World Records," Mr. Tony said. "The record for pogo juggling is almost 25 minutes. I want to break it." Pogo juggling? Now I knew Mr. Tony was weird. "Did you get hurt pogo juggling?" asked Emily. "Is that why you have a Band-Aid on your arm?" "It's not a Band-Aid. It's a nicotine patch," Mr. Tony explained. "I'm trying to quit smoking." "Cigarettes are really bad for you," said Ryan. "I know," Mr. Tony said. "I used to be a chain smoker." "You smoked chains?" I asked. "That's weird." "A chain smoker is somebody who smokes all the time, Arlo," Andrea said. "She calls me a name because she knows I don't like it." "I knew that," I lied. "My doctor says that if I do a lot of exercise, it will help me quit smoking," Mr. Tony said. "So I thought I would try to do something active and get into the Guinness Book of World Records. If I was the best in the world at something, I think I would have the confidence to stop smoking." That made sense, I guess. Mr. Tony took us on a tour of the ASKK room. "On nice days, you can play out in the playground," he told us. "But there are lots of fun things to do in here, too." The ASKK room was divided into a bunch of little stations. There was one station for drawing pictures, one station for arts and crafts, one station for cooking, one station for making stuff with beads and Legos, and one station for playing board games. "You can do whatever you want," said Mr. Tony. "You can even do your homework if you'd like over here in the homework station." That's where Andrea will probably spend her time. She loves homework. I bet that on her birthday she asks her parents to give her more homework. "I don't want to do any of that stuff," I told Mr. Tony. "Me neither," said Ryan. "We don't want to be here," said Michael. "Yeah, we want to go home," said Neil the Nude Kid. Mr. Tony looked sad for a minute, but then he snapped his fingers. "I have an idea for something you boys would like to do," he said. "Let's make a pizza." "Pizza? I love pizza. I could eat pizza all day long." "Well, maybe not in the shower. That would be weird." "We don't know how to make a pizza," said Ryan. "I'll show you how," Mr. Tony said. "It's easy." He told us he was born in Italy and his father has been making pizza for 50 years. "Doesn't your father get tired?" I asked. Nobody laughed even though I said something funny. Mr. Tony showed us how to throw the pizza dough up in the air. We all got to help spread the sauce and the cheese on top of it. Then we put the pizza in the oven for like 1,100,000 minutes. When it was done, each of us got a slice. The pizza was great. In fact, it was more than great. It was the most awesome pizza in the history of the world because we helped make it. Maybe going to the after-school program won't be so horrible after all. Chapter 5: The Sequel to Halloween. It was getting dark outside when my mom finally came to pick me up from school. "So tell me all about the after-school program," she said as we got into the car. "What did you do?" "Nothing," I said. Anytime your mom asks what you did during the day, always say nothing. Even if an alien spaceship landed in the middle of the lunchroom that day, just tell your mom that nothing happened. Even if a spaceship landed and a bunch of alien Elvis impersonators got out and sang "Hound Dog," just say nothing. That's the first rule of being a kid. "Did you and the 6 moms make a lot of sandwiches today?" I asked her. "No, we don't have any customers yet," Mom told me. "Our company is just getting off the ground." I told her that it will be hard to make sandwiches if our company is floating around in the air. We emptied out my backpack, and there was a sheet of paper inside telling the parents all about the elementary school food drive. So my mom called Ryan's, Michael's, and Neil's moms and arranged for me and my friends to go out collecting food together. The next day was Saturday, and me and the guys met up at Michael's house. Our moms gave us pillowcases to hold the food we collected. Then we went door to door around the neighborhood, asking for food. "We're collecting food for hungry people," we said at the first house we visited. The lady gave us a can of tomato sauce. "We're collecting food for hungry people," we said at the next house. A man gave us a can of beans. We went to a bunch of houses and everybody was happy to give us some food. The pillowcases were starting to get heavy. When we came to the next house, you'll never believe in 1,100,000 years who answered the door. Nobody. You can't answer doors because doors don't talk. But you'll never believe who opened the door. It was Mr. Klutz. "Ah," he said, "I see you boys are collecting food for the food drive. Good work. Here's a can of soup." "Thanks, Mr. Klutz," we said. "Remember, if you kids collect 3,000 pounds of food, I'll jump out of a plane in an ape suit and land on the roof of the school. How will you be able to see the roof of the school from the sky? Michael asked. There's a big red circle on the roof, Mr. Klutz told us. I should be able to land right on it unless there's a lot of wind that day. Before we left, Mr. Klutz gave all of us cookies. We ate them as we walked down the street. You know, Ryan said as we ate our cookies, this is almost like Halloween. We just knocked on Mr. Klutz's door and he gave us treats. That's when I came up with the greatest idea in the history of the world. When Ryan knocked on the next door and the lady opened it, I held out my pillowcase and yelled, "Trick or treat!" Isn't Halloween in October? The lady asked. That was months ago. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to do. I had to think fast. You know how really good movies have sequels? I said. Well, they decided that really good holidays should have sequels too. Today is the sequel to Halloween. The sequel to Halloween? The lady said. I never heard of that. Oh, it was in all the newspapers, I told her. But you boys aren't even wearing costumes, she said. Oh, costumes aren't allowed on the sequel to Halloween, I told her. Everybody knows that. Well, okay, the lady said. Let me see if I have any candy. She came back a minute later with 4 Hershey bars. Thanks, we all said. Happy Halloween! What a scam! As we walked down the street eating our Hershey bars, the guys all told me I was a genius for coming up with the sequel to Halloween. We stopped off at a few more houses, yelled trick or treat at each one, and told the people all about the sequel to Halloween. I got a Crunch Bar, some M&Ms, and a Reese's peanut butter cup. By the time I got home, I was sick to my stomach. I thought I was gonna throw up. It was the greatest day of my life. Food drives are cool. Chapter 6. The Land of No Toilets. When I got to school on Monday morning, everybody was putting cans of food into big cardboard boxes by the front office. The kids at our school collected a lot of food. And you'll never believe in 1,100,000 years what happened at school that day. Nothing. No, really, I mean it. I'm not just saying that. Nothing happened. It was the most boring day in the history of the world. But at the end of the day, I went to the ASKK room with the guys. A few minutes later, Mr. Tony showed up. He wasn't jumping on a pogo stick and juggling this time. He was jogging with a spoon in his mouth, and there was an egg on the spoon. Mr. Tony reporting for duty, he said after he took the spoon out of his mouth. We all giggled because he said duty again. Mr. Tony, why were you holding a spoon in your mouth with an egg on it? Andrea asked. Trying to get into the Guinness Book of World Records for egg jogging, Mr. Tony told us. the record for running a mile while holding a spoon in your mouth with an egg on it is over 8 minutes. I'm trying to break it." "And that's going to help you quit smoking?" Andrea asked. "Yes," Mr. Tony said. "As long as I have a spoon in my mouth, I can't smoke." Mr. Tony sure comes up with weird ways to quit smoking. "Hey, how about we play a word game today?" he said. "Who can use the word spaghetti in a sentence?" Andrea got all excited and was waving her arm in the air like it was on fire. But Mr. Tony called on me, so na boo boo on Andrea. "Abraham Lincoln gave the Spaghettisburg address," I said. Everybody laughed, even though I didn't say anything funny. "Lincoln gave the Gettysburg address, Arlo," little Miss Perfect said, rolling her eyes. "Not Spaghettisburg." "Oh, snap," said Ryan. "Try another one, AJ," Mr. Tony said. "Can you use the word toiletries in a sentence?" "Sure," I said. "Out in the forest there were some oak trees, some maple trees, and some toilet trees." Everybody laughed again, even though I didn't say anything funny. "There's no such thing as a toilet tree, Arlo," Andrea said, rolling her eyes again. "Yeah, toilets don't grow on trees," said Emily. "Toiletries are what you bring in a little bag when you go on vacation." "Oh yeah?" I said. "Why would you take a toilet with you on vacation? Where do you go on vacation anyway? The land of no toilets? When I go on vacation, they have toilets there already. I don't have to bring one with me." "Oh, snap," said Ryan. I was just yanking her chain, but Emily looked like she was going to cry as usual. "Sheesh, get a grip. That girl needs to go to the drugstore and buy a chill pill. She'll cry at the drop of a hat." Actually, it's true. One time after school, I took Emily's hat and dropped it in a puddle. She started crying, of course. "No arguing in the ASKK room," said Mr. Tony. "I have an idea. Let's play Simon Says." "I hate Simon Says," I said. "Well, we're going to play Simon Says, AJ, and I want you to be Simon," said Mr. Tony. "We will do anything you tell us to do as long as you say Simon Says first." "Anything?" I asked. "Anything," Mr. Tony said. "Anything?" I repeated. "Anything," Mr. Tony repeated. We went back and forth like that for a while. "Okay," I said. "Simon says we stop playing Simon Says and make a pizza instead." "Yeah," everybody shouted. "Pizza." Okay, Mr. Tony said. "You win. And because you kids are so smart, we'll make 2 pizzas today." Yay! We made pizza just like last time, but Mr. Tony gave us some mushrooms, sausage, and bacon to put on one of them. He says you can put anything on a pizza. While we ate, we asked Mr. Tony about pogo juggling and egg jogging. He said he hadn't broken any records yet, but he was working on it. His goals were to get into the Guinness Book of World Records someday, and to stop smoking. Wouldn't it be great to be the best person in the world at something? He asked us. That would be cool, I agreed. Mr. Tony told us that you didn't have to be a great singer or athlete or superstar to break a world record. Regular people can break records too. A man in England smashed 40 eggs against his head in a minute, he told us. He's in the Guinness Book of World Records for that. Wow, we all said, which is Mom upside down. And there's this man in New York who pushed an orange for a mile with his nose in 22 minutes and 41 seconds. Mr. Tony told us more stories about crazy people who were in the Guinness Book of World Records. There was a guy in Australia who put on 20 pairs of underpants in 1 minute to set the world record for putting on underpants in 1 minute. Can you believe that? And some other guy smashed 46 wooden toilet seat lids with his head. And then somebody in Texas got into a bathtub with 87 rattlesnakes to set a world record. It was hilarious. If you ask me, people who try to set records are weird.